Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called The City Beneath Ashvale Ridge. Dr. Elias Varn never believed in lost civilizations. Not really. He believed in data, in carbon dating, in sediment layers and verifiable proof. Myths were just early attempts at explanation, stories born from fear and ignorance. That's what he told himself when the satellite scans came in, and what he kept repeating when they stood at the edge of the impossible. Ashvale Ridge had always been unremarkable, just another stretch of dense forest and limestone hills far from anything important. But when a deep penetrating survey drone picked up unnatural geometric formations nearly a mile underground, everything changed. Straight lines. Perfect angles. Structures. Someone, or something, had built a city down there. Elias wasn't alone. The expedition team consisted of 6 people. Drive. Lena Corvin, an anthropologist obsessed with early human divergence theories. Mark Delaney, a quiet structural engineer. Sophia Reyes, a linguistics expert fascinated by unknown languages. Connor Hale, a geologist who hated tight spaces, and Tariq Nasser, their survival specialist. They entered through a narrow cavern system revealed after weeks of drilling. The descent took hours, ropes, ladders, squeezing through stone that felt older than memory. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. The air grew warm, then humid, then strangely breathable, like it was being circulated. Connor noticed it first. Lena confirmed it. Elias said nothing, but the unease had already begun to take root. When the tunnel finally opened, it didn't feel real. The cavern stretched so wide their lights barely touched its edges. And in the center of it all, impossible and silent, stood a city. Massive stone structures rose in tiers, carved with precision that felt deliberate, intelligent. Golden lights flickered along pathways and towers, steady and controlled, not like fire but something close enough to mimic it. No one spoke at first. Then Sophia whispered, "They're here." They saw movement, figures slipping between buildings. Tall, thin shapes with elongated limbs and pale, almost gray skin. Their eyes caught the light in a way that made them seem less human the longer you stared. Lena's voice trembled as she studied them. A divergent branch, they evolved separately. Not extinct. Hidden. Watching. The figures didn't approach immediately. They observed from a distance, silent and patient. And then came the sound, a low humming that echoed through the stone. It wasn't speech, not exactly. It vibrated through the air, through bone, through thought itself. Sophia began recording, her voice barely contained excitement. "It's structured, patterned. This is a language." They camped above the city that night, on a rocky ledge overlooking the vast expanse below. That was when the first mistake cost them. Mark disappeared. No noise woke them, no struggle, just an empty sleeping bag and a faint dark smear leading toward the edge of the ledge. Connor refused to look over. He didn't have to. "They took him," he said. No one argued. Elias insisted they go down into the city. It wasn't bravery. It wasn't even logic. It was something else pulling him forward. The streets were silent when they entered, the golden lights flickering softly against walls covered in carvings. Symbols twisted across the stone, spirals, jagged lines, repeating patterns that made your eyes strain if you looked too long. Sophia studied them closely. "These aren't just markings, they're instructions." "For what?" Lena asked. Sophia didn't answer. They found Mark inside a chamber. His body lay perfectly still, untouched on the outside. His eyes were open, his skin drained of color. There was no blood, no visible injury. Just emptiness. Connor staggered back, sick. Lena whispered what none of them wanted to admit. They don't kill like predators. Elias said the word out loud. They harvest. The humming returned, louder now. Closer. Shapes emerged from the shadows, surrounding them in silence. Dozens of them. Their movements were too smooth, too controlled, like something wearing the idea of a human body rather than truly being one. Tarek raised his weapon, but there was no target he could meaningfully defend against. One figure stepped forward. Taller. Older, somehow. Its eyes locked onto Elias. And then it spoke, not with sound, but directly into his mind. You came back. Elias staggered, gripping his head. What? You always come back. The air felt heavier. Wrong. Connor was taken first, pulled into the crowd, his voice cut short almost instantly. Then Sophia. Then Tarek. Each one vanished into the mass without chaos, without violence in the way humans understood it. Just efficiency. Purpose. Lena grabbed Elias, trying to pull him away, but the creatures closed in around them. You remember, the tall one said. I've never been here, Elias insisted, though his voice cracked. Yes, it replied. You have. Lena screamed as she was taken, her hand slipping from his. Elias tried to move. He couldn't. Not because something held him physically, but because something inside him refused to obey. The creature leaned closer. And then the memories came. Not imagined. Not suggested. Remembered. He saw himself running through the same city, alone, desperate. He saw the same golden lights, the same carvings, the same endless streets. He felt the same terror clawing through him as he climbed upward toward escape. He had been here before. You escaped once, the creature said. We let you. Elias's mind reeled. No, that's not possible. You forget. You return. You bring others. The truth settled in like something cold and final. They need many, it continued. But one must remain. Why? Elias whispered. To remember. The humming grew stronger, filling the city. To guide the next. Then, just like that, they let him go. A path opened behind him, a tunnel leading upward. He ran. He didn't think. He didn't look back. He ran until the city disappeared behind him, until the air grew cold and dry, until the world above swallowed him again. Rescue teams found him days later, alone and barely conscious. There was no entrance. No tunnel. No sign that anything had ever been there. The others were listed as missing. Elias tried to tell them. No one believed him. Over time, even he stopped believing himself. The memories faded, slipping through his mind like water through cracks. He wrote reports that made no sense. He abandoned them halfway through. Life moved on. Or at least it pretended to. Until one night, sitting alone in his apartment, he heard it. A low hum. Soft. Familiar. It seemed to come from beneath him, vibrating through the floor. And suddenly, he remembered. Not everything. Just enough. The path. The way back. A slow smile spread across his face as the sound grew stronger. And somewhere deep below, the city waited. Patient. Hungry. Remembering him just as clearly as he remembered it.